study of that electromagnetic radiations with the matter. So, absorption spectroscopy, it deals with the effect of this electromagnetic radiation on the matter. Means when a beam of a electromagnetic radiation is passed through the solution of a compound. So there is some part of that radiation, the compound will absorb it. Then some part it gets transmitted, and some part it will scattered. So when the radiation meets the matter, matter means like anything like object, okay, through the solution that now it is said like matter it is. It may be a substance, okay, or a compound like this. So when that radiation meets the matter, the radiation is either scattered. Now see the here, see the big red line. See what is the reflection. So when that beam of a that radiation, it will not getting absorbed when the radiation not getting absorbed by that substance. It will just strike it and it will go in different direction. See, it will not be absorbed by the substance. So that we called it as a reflection. And there is a absorption in which get that radiation is absorbed by the that substance. Absorption of the radiation. Okay. So see, the radiation is absorbed by the substance. That is the absorption. Now, there is a transmission. Means when that radiation passes through that substance. So that is the transmission. And when that radiation is absorbed by the substance and then it is passed through it in different direction. Okay, that is the scattering. So see, whenever the radiation, electromagnetic radiation, okay, if it is passed through the solution of a compound, then there are different phenomena, okay, can occur. So there might be a reflection, there might be a absorption, there might be a transmission, or there might be a scattering. So if it pass through the matter, okay, with a little, so it can be passed through a matter with a little or no absorption of radiation. Okay, it can pass through the matter. So that is the transmission. Then the direction of that propagation of beam may be altered by reflection or the refraction. In the reflection, that beam, that radiation is striking on that substance, but it is not getting absorbed, but its direction changes. So that is the reflection. So then it is a, and then scattering is what that radiation is absorbed by the substance and then it will come out, but in the direction perpendicular to the direction of propagation. So that is the scattering. And also some radiations may be get absorbed by that substance completely or partially. So see, the medium consists of molecules which actually absorb the radiation and the gain energy. But the amount of energy gain depends upon the frequency of radiation. Means higher the frequency, then greater will be the energy gain, because energy is directly proportional to the frequency. So energy absorbed, see here, see delta is equal to h nu, means the energy is directly proportional to the frequency. If the frequency is higher, then more energy will be absorbed. So now see, if we now in the spectroscopy, we have to deal with the molecules spectroscopy in that. So there are different types of molecules absorb radiations of different wavelength and also to a different extent. जो molecules होते हैं that can absorb a radiation of different wavelength and वो wavelength कितना to the different extent, okay, ज़्यादा और कम वो absorb करते हैं molecules, and there are different types of molecules. So that absorption process is a specific phenomena related to the characteristic of molecular structure. Means ये absorption process जो है, okay, that is वो डिपेंड करता है कि वो मॉलिक्यूल का स्ट्रक्चर कैसा है. Means different type, now there are different types of molecules, so they have the different structures. So on that basis, they will absorb the radiation of different wavelength, and also there is a and to the also to the different extent they can absorb the radiation. So it depends on the molecular structure. So now the energy absorbed by the molecules. Now when the molecule absorbs that energy, so the different changes it can cause when the energy is absorbed by the molecule. So different changes happens, okay, in that molecule. So what happens there? See, there are different ways So before that, see, we will see this. Absorption occurs when the energy of radiation matches the difference in the energy between the two energy levels. Now emission. See, emission can be induced by sources of energy such as flame or electromagnetic radiation. See now what is the spectroscopy? It is the study of the interaction, okay, between the electromagnetic radiation and the matter. So matter, it can be anything, atoms, ions, okay. So normally there are different types of molecules, so they will absorb different wavelengths and also to the different extent. So now ultimately this absorption process, it depends on, it is related to the molecular structure. So now once the molecules absorb that energy, so it can cause different changes in the molecules. So what happens normally? It can cause the electronic excitation. Means After absorbing the energy, the electron will shift from the lower energy level to the higher energy level. So it can cause the vibrational excitation. Means it increases the amplitude of vibration of the atoms of the molecule, and which results in the rotational excitation. That means transition of a molecule from the lower rotational energy level to the higher level, and the exact changes which takes place depends on the nature of radiation and the molecular structure. जो changes होते हैं that depends on the what type of radiation is there and the molecular structure. So the electronic, now see where the molecules are there, in that there are electronic levels, there are vibrational levels, and there are rotational levels are there. So in that electronic excitation, okay, when the electron absorb the energy, it will excite from the lower energy level to the higher energy level. So that electronic level, it requires the more energy than the vibrational and the rotational excitation, because the electronic levels are the gap between these electronic levels, okay, these are the high, so it requires more energy, and in between that electronic levels there are the vibrational levels, and in that vibrational level there are the rotational levels. So